the silence stretched through the New Mexico desert, broken only by the buzzing of insects and the distant cry of a road. The Hernandez family home sat bathed in the golden glow of dusk, its windows like vacant eyes staring out at the endless expanse of sand and scrub brush. Behind closed doors, a story was unfolding that would soon turn this quiet neighborhood into a crime scene. Inside the house, a woman moved restlessly. Her name was Dolores, and she paced the worn kitchen floor, her gaze fixed on the door that led to the backyard. She was waiting for her son, Adlai, who had been missing for hours. Usually, he kept to himself, spending his days lost in books or tending to his collection of cacti and succulents. But today was different. Today, he was supposed to have a job interview, a chance to break free from the quiet confines of their home and step into the wider world. But Adlai was late, and a knot of worry tightened in Dolores's chest. As the minutes ticked by, Dolores's unease grew. She tried to shake it off, telling herself that Adlai was probably just running late. But the longer he was gone, the more her imagination ran wild. Had he gotten lost? Had something terrible happened to him? The thought of harm befalling her son sent a chill down her spine, and she found herself edging closer to the door, straining to listen for his familiar footsteps. Meanwhile, outside, a lone figure emerged from the maze of prickly pear and creosote bush that surrounded their home. It was Adlai, and he was carrying a heavy duffel bag slung over his shoulder. He moved with a quiet confidence, his eyes scanning the horizon as he made his way back to the house. As he approached the front door, he could feel the tension radiating from his mother. She was a whirlwind of questions and anxious energy, but Adlai soothed her worries with a calm that belied his own turmoil. He reassured her that he was fine, that he just needed some time alone, and for a moment, the fear in her eyes eased into relief. But as the days turned into weeks, Adlai's habit of disappearing into the desert only intact. Each time he returned home, he seemed more distant, more detached. His eyes, once filled with life, now held a haunting emptiness, and he spoke less and less, retreating further into himself until he was almost a stranger. And Dolores, watching her son slip away, felt a growing sense of dread. Something was wrong, deeply wrong. And as the silence stretched between them, she knew that the only way to bridge the gap was to follow him into the heart of his solitude. Meanwhile, the neighbors, sensing the disturbance in the quiet rhythm of their community, exchanged uneasy glances. The Hernandez family had always been private, keeping to themselves, but this was different. This felt like a crack in the facade, a glimpse into a darkness that should have remained hidden. Gossip swirled, theories took flight, and fear wormed its way into their tidy little lives. Then one day, the sheriff's car arrived, shattering the illusion that had shielded the Hernandez family for so long. The neighbors watched in morbid fascination as officers swarmed the house, their faces grim, their voices hushed. There was a palpable tension in the air, a collective intake of breath as news of the discovery spread like wildfire through the close-knit community. In the Hernandez home, amidst the dusty silence, something sinister had been uncovered. As the investigation deepened, whispers began to circulate around the small town. What had led the authorities to search the Hernandez house in the first place? And what exactly did they find that warranted such a dramatic response? The details were scarce, carefully guarded by law enforcement, and the residents were left to grapple with their fears and suspicions. Meanwhile, at the station house, Detective Ramirez reviewed the scant evidence they had managed to gather. The house itself had been a puzzle with few pieces, an unsettling tableau of normalcy. The food on the table, the clothes in the closet, all meticulously arranged, all pointing to a life that seemed almost too perfect. Yet there had been cracks, subtle signs of a deeper turmoil, a discordant note in the symphony of domestic bliss. The turning point had come from an anonymous tip, a concerned neighbor who had noticed the family's unusual behavior and their sudden withdrawal from the community. And when the police had descended on the house, they had found more than they had bargained for. The depth of the family's secrets ran deeper than anyone had imagined. As the investigation continued, a troubling picture began to emerge. Adlai, the quiet son, had been missing for weeks, yet there was no sign of a struggle, no indication that he had been forced to leave. The parents, Elias and Dolores, had been strangely evasive, their answers to rehearsed, their eyes to guarded. And then there was the house itself, standing silent and stark, its windows like vacant eyes staring out at the world. It was a house that had concealed its own darkness, a sanctuary of secrets. As the investigation into the disappearance of the Hernandez family deepened, a shadow fell over the small town of Truth or Consequences, New Mexico. Whispers echoed through the streets, casting an eerie silence over the once vibrant community. The quiet dignity of the Hernandez family had given way to unsettling questions. What had drawn the authorities to their doorstep? And what had they uncovered that had shattered the illusion of their peaceful existence? The truth, when it came, was a chilling revelation, exposing the depths of human darkness that had festered in the heart of their seemingly idyllic town.